So thanks for being in this call. Uh, Grace is going to be with us. She's our marketing a person that helps us and directs us in the US. Plus, Elisa, she's going to be with us also. She's our technical assistant in Italy. Both of them are in Italy, and they will be in the call also trying to work this out. Now, this particular seminar is a little bit different than what we've done before. Before, we generally go through our line and talk about products and all that. This particular one, we're going to talk about our 6 most common questions. They come up to me and to others as technical help people, and these questions are all very interesting. But before we get to the question, if you're new to us, we're going to tell you a little bit about our company and who we are, because some of you are very familiar with who we are, but others really have no idea. You think we sell shoes and you got on here to buy some shoes. Well, you're in the wrong seminar, but let me tell you who we are. Go ahead, Grace. Let's move along. Okay, so we can. We're a manufacturer of chemicals, and we didn't start yesterday. Okay, we've been around for a long time. It started really by a family, the Petenon family, back in 1943. We're very concerned about the products that we manufacture. We're very focused. And for 80 years, we have been producing products that the market can use to help contractors, help architects, homeowners, and very other segments that really are at a loss how to take care of problems and maintain and really take their investment and protect their investment. When you buy a $10,000 marble floor, you want to be able to protect it. But here on the right, we have Francesco Petenon all the way to the right. He's our current CEO. Mr. Petenon in the middle, and then Alessandro Petenon on the left. They're our directors for our company right now. Let's move on to the next slide, please. A picture of our manufacturing facility. It's much more larger than this. We have warehouses, we have other things. But if you look real closely, I was impressed. If you look real closely, you can see solar panels everywhere. And this is something we're going to talk about in a minute. Most of the manufacturing is done under solar energy in our factory. And it's located in northern Italy, close to Venice, about 60 miles or so from Venice. Let's move on to the next one. Today, we started producing, our first product was shoe polish back in 1943. But as things move along, today we're producing safe, eco-friendly, and highly effective cleaner, sealers, and products for tile and also for stone. This is important. Safe, eco-friendly, and highly effective. Other competitors may meet one challenge, but not all these challenges. We are one of the few, if not the only one, who really have distribution throughout the world of our products. As you can see, these are our main offices that we have opened, and they're found throughout the world. From these offices, for example, from the Fila office in Miami, Florida, we do North America, South America, the islands, and so on and so forth. And the other offices are working the same way. Over 90 countries worldwide, we service from all of our offices. So this is the next one. This is a very important thing about our company. Over 240 manufacturers of stone and other products recommend Fila. You may recognize some of these names. Well, there's over 240. And it keeps increasing. All these manufacturers see the value of our company to help them maintain their product, to help them remove problems, to help them really forward their marketing efforts, both in the United States, but throughout the world. And the way that we do it, frankly, is research. We have dedicated people that look into an opportunity and come up with products that really take care of whatever the market is asking for. We have over 12 qualified technicians that work full-time in our lab. On the left, you see the picture, a small picture of a lab, but it's a very large, busy area. One of the ways that we go to market really is by providing excellent technical assistance. Some of you know that we are available. You can call and we answer the calls and we give you good information as far as we can. We're not reading from a book, okay? It is me, for example, telling you my experiences. And over a period of a year, we do over 10,000 cases. So that you know, right here it shows the manufacturing of our products. But the important thing about this slide is we manufacture our own product in our plant. We know what's inside that bottle. We do not buy chemicals from other companies and then put our label, put them in our bottle, and then put it for sale like some other manufacturers do. We know what's inside each bottle that we put for sale to be in your home. Let's move on. This slide talks basically a little bit about how we go to business. It talks about we use electric energy generated from renewable sources, and that's where the solar energy panel comes in, like I've showed you in the previous slide. 81% of Fila's total production is water-based. Solvents are still very popular in our system, but we have been able to improve our water-based products to be able to meet the market. The market today requires no VOCs. Architects will tell you, I want no VOCs and I want a product that performs. We can do that. Also, our cleaners are 98% biodegradable ingredients, so they don't damage the environment, and the packaging is 100% recyclable. These are things that we think about. Now, let's dig in, okay? Let's talk about these questions that we're going to do. Okay, here they are. I know most of you only seen the first three or a mix of them. Let's just go over them rather quickly so we can get to answer. Number one is, how can I remove leaf stains from porcelain, unpolished stone, and concrete? Number two, what product do I use to easily clean pre-mix urethane or epoxy grout residue? This is an important question as more and more of this type of grout is being used in the market today. And number three, how can I renew the slip resistance of a commercial floor? Wow, that question comes up every time. Number four, what is the best go-to cleaner for hard surfaces that doesn't require rinsing? Number five, how can I apply sealers quickly and correctly? You'll be amazed how many times in the technical calls, even though it's printed and every label we talk and everything, how many times they're applied wrong. Number six, how to prevent stains from magically appearing on white marble installations. That's a big one because, as you know, it happens. And with marble, you can't mess around. Anyway, let's go on to the first slide. Okay, how can I remove leaf stains from porcelain and stone? Lisa is going to talk about the process.
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely. Thank you, Mario. I'm Elisa. I'm from Italy, and I'm here with Grace in this moment, and I'm happy to share with you all those information that I think that may be really helpful for your job, for your customers. I want to highlight the fact that all the pictures that you are going to see in this presentation are real pictures. So those always come from our customers. So just to let you make this an example, the two pictures that you can see in these slides arrived from the UK. The first one is a porcelain tiles located outside. And what you can see on the surface is a green and black patina, really not so beautiful. It damages the finishing of the tiles. And you can even see a lot of spots, a lot of different stains due to the use of a barbecue or of organic stains that fell on the floor. In the other picture, you can see instead a limestone floor that was covered with organic stains. The stains that you can see are due to the presence of grout and of some leaf and other organic matter that remain on the floor. This is really common, especially when you have an outside patio, an outside area, and sometimes it may be hard to maintain the surface as you want. And in this moment is when Fila arrives to help you. In order to remove those kind of stains, we have a particular cleaner whose name is PA87. This cleaner is perfect to remove organic stains from porcelain tiles, but even from cement, concrete, natural stones. And it is really easy to be used because in this picture you can see the cleaning of this natural stone floor located in Greece. So a really beautiful place. You can even see the sea behind those men. And they are cleaning the floor with PA87. And in this case, they are using a rotary machine that is really helpful. And they are using something to remove the water and the residues from the floor. The other picture is a mock-up that we did some months ago. And we were in a big mall, and we need to remove organic stains from this concrete floor. What we did was to use PA87 to remove the black spot and even the green spot that you can see in this picture. In this case, the cleaning was done manually. So we use a green sponge and a brush, and we were able to remove the stains that you can see on the surface. This case instead arrives from Spain, and here you can see the use of PA87 on an outside porcelain tiles and on unpolished stones that is located near a swimming pool, and you can perfectly see the effect of the PA87 on the porcelain tiles and on the natural stones. You can see the difference. The floor after the cleaning is clean, is beautiful, is safe, and it does not black spot. So especially outside, it is really important to use this cleaner to remove the organic buildup that can remain on the surface, especially after the summer or after the winter time. As I told you before, this cleaner can be used manually, but even with a rotary machine. These little frames want to show you how to use this cleaner with a rotary machine. The first thing to keep in mind is that PA87 has to be used diluted in water, always diluted in water at ratio 1:5. That means 1 liter in 5 liters of water, or
Yes,
gallons.
Yes, in gallons or quarts.
Yes, that's the same. You have to spread the solution on the floor. We suggest doing a few square meters at a time. And then after 4 or 5 minutes, you can rub the surface with a scrubbing machine with an appropriate disc. After that mechanical action, it will be really, really important to remove the residues, usually using a wet vac or eventually using some cloth. At the end, you have to rinse. Wait until the surface is dry, and then you can completely use the surface. So, dilute it in water, apply the cleaner on the surface, rub with do a mechanical action, collect the residues, and rinse with water. It's way easier when you have to do it. When you try to explain it, it may be a little bit complex, but don't be afraid. This cleaner is really easy and friendly to be used. In this slide, you can see different kind of tools that can be used for the cleaning. The first one is a scrubbing machine, and you can choose the color of the pad based on the finishing of your porcelain tiles or your natural stones. You can see that we have usually 5 kinds of pads that can be used: the white, the green, the red, the brown, and the black. The white is the softer, and the black is the harder. When you work on outside porcelain tiles, you can even use the red, you can use the green or the brown. If you work on natural stones, better use the red or the green ones. And the last tool is the aqua vacuum. A little tips. Outside, you can even use a pressure washer. Yes, that could be really, really helpful, because with this tool, you can speed up the process and you can make the cleaning easier and faster. Okay.
Okay,
Question?
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Elisa. Now we're going to go to number 2. Okay. What product do I use to easily clean pre-mix urethane or epoxy grout residue? Okay, let's dig into that one. There's two products really that we would talk about. Okay, one is this one that we're showing you, which is called Hybrid and Epoxy Pro. You will use this while the grout is still wet. This will help the contractor clean the surface while the grout is still wet, before you have a real problem down the road. And we have a video that will show you an actual case of somebody doing, I believe, a pool or something like that, where this was used. And basically, it talks about the wet and how to use it. Can we play the video? Let's go ahead and play the video so we can see.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, this is
Okay.
a little video that we did in the lab, and here you can see the application of this cleaner in the lab. And then you can see, as Mario told you, the application of this cleaner in a swimming pool, a really beautiful swimming pool in Canaria. The cleaner is really easy to be used because it is really ready to be used. You have just to spray it on the surface where there is the fresh grout, and then with a white sponge you have to easily remove the residues. So no effort, you will spare a lot of time. After the removing of the residues, we have just to clean with some water, with a damp sponge, and you will be able to remove completely all the hybrid and epoxy residues that may affect the tiles after the drying of this grout. That's really important, because with this cleaner, you will not need to come back the day after. And here we have the video that we took with our Spain branch, and in this case we have the installer that need to grout this mosaic inside a pool, and he has to use the epoxy grout. He decided to use our product, so he applied the grout, he sprayed the product on the surface, and in the same day he was able to clean completely the floor and the wall of the swimming pool. This is really effective, because I know that you know that cleaning the hybrid or the epoxy grout residues, once they are set, once they are completely dry, is really hard. You need a lot of energy, you need a lot of time. With this cleaner, you will spare a lot of money, a lot of time, and you will have a better and faster result.
Great.
Okay, so this particular cleaner has a lot of benefits to the contractor, okay? And basically is so he can get out of there faster. You know, usually when contractors are installing this type of grout, they spend more time cleaning than the installation itself. And this is truth, and you know it. So we're trying to make the contractor who installs this type of grout a little more at ease, faster, saving time. Now, and it has a lot of advantages, as you can see. It will clean the tools. It doesn't damage grout joints. It doesn't damage the or corrode aluminum or anything like that. And it has a rapid dry technology, which we have patented, and that is it dries real quickly. So you can go ahead and move on with it. Now, the other thing is, what happens if the grout has been there and is totally dry? The spray is not going to work for that instance. The spray is only when the grout is wet. You would use another product, which we're very successful with. It's called epoxy grout haze remover. Obviously, it's more than that. It will remove any type of premixed chemical grout. Anything that comes in a bucket. Okay, this thing is the one to do it for grout that has been dried. For the contractor who did not follow the instructions, or he did not clean with our spray, and now everything is dry on the surface, what is it going to do? This is a gel. You can use it vertically, you can use it horizontally, and it will work. Many instances, proven instances, where we have saved a lot of different installations. So this is another product to keep in mind. I think, Elisa, do you have something to say about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm smiling because we took those pictures during a mock-up that we did on a cruise ship where they decided to install a mosaic. The point is that since they are on a ship, they decide to use the epoxy grout in order to fill the joints. What they didn't know was that the epoxy grout has to be cleaned after the use, after the application, and they had a lot of problems relating to this lack of the cleaning. So they decided to call us, and we went out and we decided to clean the surface with epoxy out. And in the pictures, you can see really well the result of the cleaning with this cleaner. And it took, I think, 20 minutes to completely solve the situation. And the man that was following this job had spent days in order to try to understand why the surface was sticky, why the surface get dirty really fast, why the finishing was not uniform. And in 20 minutes, we were able to solve the situation with the use of the right product. So when you have those post-construction dirt on the surface and you want to get rid of the epoxy grout residues, it is really important to use the correct product. And epoxy out is this product. So feel free to use it on ceramic, on mosaic, glass, and so on. It is safe, it is fast, and it works.
Yeah, what Elisa is not telling you about that previous slide is that in 20 minutes, she was able to show, how to clean it, but she happened to be out on the ship, so she went on a 2-week cruise to the Canary Islands while that was happening. She didn't tell you about that part.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
I know.
So anyway, let's move on. Okay, number 3. How can I renew the slip resistance on a commercial floor? This is a big one. I always get questions about, my tile used to be okay, now it's slipping, and the homeowner wants to do this, or the owner of the property, is not satisfied, or so forth. So let's go on and see what we can do. Let's move on. Now, let me say this. Most slip resistant complaints are the results of faulty maintenance. And believe it or not, they're generally of no maintenance. They really don't maintain. I've been to many commercial kitchens where there is grease, there's all kinds of things, and they're complaining about slip resistance from the tile. And it's because they really don't do the a maintenance regimen. If you want to keep your floor clean and slip resistance, you have to clean it, because a layer will form on the top. A lot of times it's grease, but other layers could form. It could be from the cleaners, from anything, and it will make your tile slippery. And that's all there is to it. And they really are not looking for taking care of it in that fashion. They want to put some product that puts like a sandpaper on it so they can continue not cleaning. Okay, and that is not the solution. That is not the solution. That's only a temporary solution. Let's move on. Okay, the solution is to use PS37 to remove the buildup that has either grease or a cleaner residue or whatever the buildup is. Once you do that, you're back to the normal, the brand new texture of that tile. And if it was specified correctly, it should be within the slip limits of the area that it was installed. Of course, after that, we recommend to use another product, which is called Clean-All, to maintain it at that level. So you have to really put a little effort into the cleaning of the floor in the commercial area, or else pretty soon, you know, you have layers of grease, layers of dirt, layers of whatever, and the surface just is not doesn't become too effective. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, Lisa, I think you're going to talk about this one.
Talking about dirty layers and residues, I think that those pictures speak alone. Here you can see a real case where in an indoor market, the floor was really dangerous because on the floor there was a layer of organic matter that, especially when you have a wet floor, wet shoes, make the surface really slippery. And this indoor market work a lot with fish, with ice. That means that the surface can get wet, can get dirt really fast. And here they had a lack in the maintenance. So they decide to call us because they want to restore the slip rate of this floor. And when we went there, we saw the situation and we suggest them to simply clean correctly the floor. What you can see is the floor before and after the cleaning with PA87. The floor changed completely, the color, the finishing, and the texture return as it was at the beginning. Obviously, we suggest to clean maybe every year, since the floor is really in a dirt environment with PA87, but daily they have to maintain with Clean-All, so with a neutral detergent that does not leave the residues on the surface. For the cleaning, as you can see, they used a scrubber machine and an aquavac in order to remove all the residues that may come from the cleaning. Here we have another typical situation. We are in a supermarket, so a really big public location, and the floor seems gray. The point is that, especially in winter or during the Christmas time, the people come inside and some ladies fell on the floor, and they ask us in order to understand why the floor now is slippery and before the installation was perfectly fine. Because even in this case, the floor was dirt. Note that every 4 hours, the floor was cleaned by the lady with the machine. The point is that they used the wrong detergent inside the machine. That means that for years, they put layers of detergent on the floor, changing the color and the finishing of the material. In the picture after, you can see the square when we performed the test with PA87 and where we recovered the original color and the look of the floor. It is not a fake, it's something real, and it is impressive because it is something that we used to see everywhere and everywhere in every supermarket, in every public area. Here we have similar cases on different locations. We have a before and after inside a gym. So near showers, near in the changing rooms, and you can see the floor that is really, really dirt and really, really oily. The point is that when you have those kind of patinas on the surface, it's like if you have some oil on the top of the tiles. Those oil can create a really dangerous situation for the people that is going to use that room. And on the other hand, you have a before and after of a public shop. In this case, we were in France, and they use everyday cleaners that change completely the look of the floor, passing from the white ones to the brown ones. Yeah, the effect was massive and it was really terrible. So please, when you have those situations, use always PA67, following the instruction that we presented before. And in this way, you will be able to restore the look of the tiles as exposed in this case. And you will avoid the issues and problems with the customers, with the people. Note that even in this case, PA67 can be used diluted in water, 1 to 5, apply on the floor, leave to act 5 minutes, rub with a scrubbing machine, with a red, with a green pad, collect the residues and rinse.
Yeah, let me say something about that. You always need to discuss the maintenance, okay? Because what is the sense of cleaning it if in 2 months it'll be back to the same? So the maintenance is almost as important, if not more important, than the actual initial cleaning. Anyway, it's very good. Thank you, Lisa. Let's go to 4. What is the best go-to cleaner for hard surfaces that doesn't require rinsing? Now, there's a lot of cleaners out there. Okay, but we're going to talk about one that you don't need to rinse. Also, one that you don't need to actually worry about damaging the surface and so on and so forth. Okay, this a lot of you have seen this. This is the pH scale. It's very simple. On the right, you have your alkaline cleaners, which are very effective with organic stains and grease and all of this. On the left, you have inorganic and they're acid-based cleaners for cementitious grout, rust, and so on and so forth. And in the middle, you have your neutrals. Your neutrals are really very important right now because there's a diverse range of products out there that need cleaning, and you don't want to really damage them. So for us, we have one for stone and very sensitive, which is called Stone Clean, and the other one, Clean All. These two are very important. Both of them need to be diluted and can be used in a machine. This is the one that you would use to maintain. You can dilute it, put it in a walking machine or sometimes riding machine, and do large areas. And both of them will do their job, okay? Whether you're using with sensitive stone or more porcelains, terrazos, whatever, you know. This is the way to go for this. Let's move on. Okay, I think Elisa does this,
Yes,
or
it's
I'm
mine.
not too sure. Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, but the application of this cleaner of those cleaners is really easy. I think that is something really natural because you have just to dilute it in water. You have to put 1.5 tablespoons per gallons of product, and you have just to pass the mop on the surface or when eventually the scrubbing machine, and you have to let it dry. So the product itself is really easy to be used. And what it is really nice about this is that you can use Clean All or Stone Clean both for public areas, and in that case you can use the products inside a floor cleaning machine, or you can use it in a smaller location, and in that case you can simply use a mop. What we would suggest when you use a mop is to use 2 buckets in order to put the mop inside the clean water, and then after the use, you have to clean it and you have to spread it, and the dirt water will fall in the other bucket. In this way,
excuse me, Elisa.
yes.
Regarding the two bucket system, it's very important. Okay, this is the major reason that areas are not maintained. All they're doing is moving the dirt around when they use a single bucket system. And there's various types. You can buy a two bucket, a large bucket that has separation inside, and that will accomplish that. But you don't necessarily need two buckets. You need two compartments. But go ahead. I'm sorry. It's important.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. It is really, really important to use two buckets. Otherwise, you will spread the dirt water on the floor during your cleaning maintenance procedure. So thank you, Mario, for for your experience and your point of view. Really appreciate it. And here you can see a little video regarding those two cleaners, so the Clean All and the Stone Clean. Clean All is perfect for the porcelain tiles. Stone Clean is perfect for the natural stones, for the terrazzo, and the absorbent materials. Here you can see the use of the product on the porcelain tiles. Here we are in our lab, so we did a correct maintenance in order to keep the floor clean. And in this case, we use this cleaning machine. It is really powerful. And here, instead, you can see the cleaning with Stone Clean of a terrazzo floor. Note that the floor was polished.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to 5. How can we apply sealers quickly and correctly? This is a big question for us. Let's move on. Here we go. And, one of the reasons, especially with stone, is that, any stone, I always tell anybody who's selling stone, if you don't recommend a sealer, that stone will be damaged by dirt or stain, within a couple months, and then they'll come back to you, So at least you have to recommend a sealer. You can see what happens, on the left, the water in this case is absorbed into the stone. If it was wine, for example, it will stain the stone, and on the right is repelled. We have a product which is called MP90 Eco Plus. This product is really been we'll say to the ringer in the way that our lab people have gone and made this product a really exceptional product. First of all, it's water-based. It has no VOCs or low VOCs, and it doesn't. You don't have to ventilate before you use. And it dries quickly. It is water repellent, standing oil repellent. It is a penetrating sealer, so it goes inside of the stone or the grout or whatever you're doing to protect the area, and totally eco-friendly. But here's the biggest thing, okay? Due to our technical know-how, you can use this sealer everywhere. You can use it outside, inside. The sun doesn't affect it. You can use it on countertops. We say that the sealer is food safe. So and this is very important. You have to talk about when you're sealing a kitchen countertop. It is a natural type of sealer, so it doesn't change the color of the stone or the concrete. You can use it on concrete. It will keep that. Now, if you want to change, we have other sealers that we can discuss other times. But it is a natural look to give you a totally natural look. We give it a lifetime performance guarantee. It's really the best that we manufacture. There is a video on how to apply the sealer, and I think I'm not sure if I'm supposed to go on with this or Elisa takes care of this.
I can explain this video.
Yeah.
We did this video after a cleaning of the external floor that is around our lab. we decide to treat those external location, external flora, because we want to preserve this natural stone. It is a Vicenza stone, so is a really absorbent material. It is like a sponge. In that case, we decide to use MP9 Pico Plus, and we apply it with a fleece applicator or
A lamb's wool
applicator. And the application was really easy, really fast, because we applied the sealer until the surface was completely saturated by the sealer itself. We left then the surface sit for 10-15 minutes, and then we observed the material. We noticed that since it was summer, the surface starting to dry too fast, and we decided to put on a further coat in order to completely saturate the surface. Now you can see a little changing in the color, but it is completely natural because the surface is wet, it's saturated by the sealer. Once the surface is completely dry, we perform a little drop test after 8 hours, and that was the result. The surface does not change the color, does not change the finishing, and the water remains completely on the top of the tiles, even if this stone is a really absorbent, it is a sponge. As Mario told you before, this sealer is perfect because it dries fast, it works everywhere really well, inside, outside. The application is really easy. I applied it outside and I'm not a professional applicator, so it is something that can be done by everybody. And this is the result. As you can see, the water remains on the top of the tiles, the natural stones, but even on the top of the joints, that most of the times are the most critical part of an external floor. In this case, we decide to apply the sealer on an external absorbent flora, but as Mario told you, the sealer is perfect even for a kitchen top. And here you can see the application of the product on a small location, on a small surface. In this case, we work on a limestone and we use a brush. So we wet the brush with the product and we pass it on the surface. Even in this case, the application was quite fast. I think that Grace was with me. We spent 5-10 minutes, something like this.
Yeah, so I had scheduled a half hour,
Yes.
and you kept saying it doesn't take a half hour.
Yes,
and then,
it was really, really fast. And here you can see that I used a lot of product because that kind of limestone was really absorbent, and I needed to fully saturate it. As you can see, this is the product that I put on the surface. After the application, after rubbing the surface, we waited 15-10 minutes, and then we let the surface dry. After the short time, if some residues are present on the surface, you can decide to remove it with the dry cloth. Even the removal of the residues, if they are fresh, is really easy, really fast. And you can see the halos of the residues with done with my hand. The removal of the excess is really important, otherwise you will leave raw materials on the top. So after the application of the sealer, if you use too much product, as I did, remove all the residues using a dry cloth. Even in this case, we perform after 8 hours a test of the performances of the sealer. And here you can see the treated area and the untreated areas. We apply the same identity quantity of oil and water, and you can see how in the area treated with MP9 Pico Plus, the water and the staining agent remain completely on the surface. It does not stain the material. We leave the stains for a certain time, and then we decide to remove it, to remove them. The removal was really easy. We just need to use a cloth. And this is the fact. You can imagine having those kind of limestone in your kitchen countertop, and do not seal them. It will become a nightmare. If you seal with MP90 Eco Plus, the problems will disappear and the maintenance will become easier. The other part of the video show you the same application, but in this case on a Carrara marble. We use a lower quantity of product because the material is less absorbent, and we work the product on the surface really well in order to get rid of the residues. Note that if some residues remain on the surface, you can remove them even the day after, wetting the cloth with the product. You can massage the cloth wet with the product on the surface, and in this way you will dissolve the sealer that can remain on the material, on the Carrara tiles. So the similar dissolve the similar. This is the key. Even in this case, we perform some tests with water, coffee, and oil. In the third section of this video, you can see a little presentation of the different staining tests that we performed during the years with this product on different materials. Here we have a limestone, treated and untreated. Here we have another kind of limestones. So the effect is really massive, and this product performs everywhere and on every kind of materials really well. So with one product, you can even treat your terracotta tiles. So not only the kitchen top made with marble, but even the terracotta. So it's a passepartout, as we could say in Italy. Here we use even in a sandstone. So this was a thick wood stone, so really absorbent material. In order to keep the surface as good as the first day, the maintenance is the key.
Yeah, let me just say,
Elisa, no, I want to say something first, okay? And then you can say that. Okay, because something came to my mind. You know, Elisa said after 8 hours you can test. Well, really, after 4 hours you can use the area, but it may not be fully cured, so it may not have its full strength till 8 hours. This is what we're talking about. So if you need to be somewhere and done and turn over, you know, after 4 hours, you can do so.
Absolutely.
Okay.
just want to say something quickly. We're getting questions here. As at the end, as soon as we're done, I'll go ahead and read through them so that Mario and Elisa can answer.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your questions.
Okay.
And
yes.
here we have the last video relating to the sealer. And this is a funny video, to be honest. It was produced by our marketing department, and you can see two samples, one untreated and one treated with MP90 Eco Plus. We put them in a basin and we cover them with coffee. So we use a lot of coffee. Italian coffee.
So it's strong.
Absolutely. I did it. And here you can see the samples treated and untreated. Same contact time, same condition, but one sample was treated with MP90 Eco Plus. This is the effect of the sealer on the surface. So it's really important.
Okay, I think we've gone through this part.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we're ready for 6. How do you prevent stains from magically appearing on white marble installations? This is a good question because it happens all the time. You know, you can see in this one that there was rust. You see rust on the larger, which is coming through, and on the right through the grout joints, you can see rust and other problems. Okay, this is very important for anybody who's selling marble, because once this happens, the customer will blame you. Okay, this is a defective marble, as you can see. The stain is coming through, and it is really not the stone. It's the installation, is the area. We have a product which we call PW10 to prevent this type of problem. Let's go on, and Lisa will show you a little bit of a test that we did to prove our PW10.
You give us a little introduction to the video.
Absolutely. This video was taken on limestone, so a really absorbent material. We decided to apply PW10 on the back and on the sides of the tiles only on half of this sample. And then 20 hours after the application of this sealer, we put the samples, treated and untreated, inside a basin full of tannins in order to recreate the condition that in the construction site follows the formation of the stains, the magical stains that you can see in the pictures before. The application of the sealer is really easy. You can use a brush, you can use eventually a spray system. What it is important is to fully saturate the sides and the back of the tiles in order to protect them from the raising up of impedance. Then we put the samples, treated and untreated, in this basin full of tannins, and the effect that you can see happens in 24 hours. The stone that was treated with PW10 remained perfect. The stone that was untreated changed completely the color and turned to be completely brown. Those stains cannot be solved once they appear, so it is really important to prevent them from happening. So PW10 is a really powerful product. Here we have some real situation. As you can see, we have external limestone and external, even in the other case, external natural stone. And the green, the brown and the red spots that you see are all due to the raising up from the back of rust and impedance, and they did not use PW10. Otherwise, this won't happen. How does PW10 works? It creates a protection on the back of the tiles, limiting the permeation to inquinants, the passage to inquinants, impurities, contaminants, absolutely. But in the same times, the vapor can pass through the material. This is really important. The vapor permeability remains the same on the surface that has been treated with PW10. So you do not have to be afraid of problems relating to efflorescences and so on. Furthermore,
yeah, could I say something? And it's very
Yes, sir.
important to talk about that it doesn't interfere with the adhesion of the stone, whether you're using glues or thin set, or it could be. It's not only stone; it could be terracotta, any absorbent product. It doesn't interfere with the adhesion. If you were to use a regular sealer, to block this, it will probably block it, but it won't adhere. So it's definitely an advanced technological product. Sorry,
Mario,
go ahead.
let's go to questions.
Okay, let's go because this is the last
Yeah,
question.
this is the last slide. This is our recap. And I would just go ahead and go to questions now, okay?
Yeah, okay. Let's
Okay,
go.
so
What are the
first
questions?
question I have is from Kenneth, and he says, do I have to reseal natural stone after cleaning? I think he was talking about the PS87 portion.
you should not. Mario, do you want to reply?
No,
Or can I-
really, no, you don't. It really depends on what type of cleaning you're doing. If you're doing it really aggressive, yes, but for everyday cleaning, no. This is the idea. The sealer will take normal everyday cleaning without resealing. We have products for countertops and so forth that would enhance that, but no, the answer is no, unless you're doing something very special with a very aggressive cleaner.
Then I have, what about stone tabletops? Floor cleaning machines can't really be used there.
You will have to do it by hand, obviously, a scrubber, and put the liquid
white
there
pad?
with a mop, a pad, and so forth. Tabletops will be a manual cleanup, no machines.
Okay. What from Aaron we have would cement tile and concrete tile also use stone clean?
Stone clean is really made for sensitive products like marble and so forth. For concrete and so forth, you would use clean all, since they really are not liable to be damaged or anything like that generally, so we will recommend clean all for cement and concrete, and stone clean for marble, stone, any type of natural product.
Okay, we have Joyce. I believe she was referring to MP9 Eco Plus. Why do you need it on porcelain or quartz?
Well, this could be a long answer, but I would tell you that especially if the porcelain is polished, the polishing process creates crevices in the surface, and those crevices collect dirt, grout residue, many other things. This is why we recommend to seal a polished porcelain. I know it goes against what everybody thinks about, but I've been in many a job where this happens. A polished porcelain used to be white, now it's cream or brown, okay, because the dirt gets lodged in there and it's very hard to take out. This is why you would do it on polished porcelain, and it's basically the same reason why you would do it on quartz. Manufacturing on quartz, they talk about is the greatest thing since sliced bread and all that, and it is an advance in technology, but as this quartz gets older, some of the plastic or products which are used in it start to move apart, and you have crevices which take stains. Or maybe even in the manufacturing process. I hope that helps. It's kind of short, and there's a lot more to that than that. But maybe we
I have
can
another
talk.
question for you, Mario. Can you use the MP90 Eco Plus on textured porcelain to prevent it from getting dirty?
Wow, that's a good question. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, but it requires a special installation. It will help you by applying it and then very lightly, and then making sure you remove everything. Don't leave anything behind. It will help you in reducing the how the dirt gets stuck in it, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we have other products specifically for that, but this is what we're recommending at the moment.
I do have one question about which product should I use to remove or prevent mold and mildew. Can I use PS87?
Okay, yes, you can use PS87. Mold and mildew is a big thing in today's world, and it's basically because no cleaning, water stays there and whatever, and they think that you can use a liquid to cure all and then go back to their old ways, okay? So PS87 will work on mold and mildew, but then you have to figure out how to not let it happen again. Is it like you have standing water? Why do you have standing water? And so on and so forth. But yes, PS87.
If you don't pre-seal with PW10, can the surfaces still be cleaned even though it will still come back, even though the stains will still come back?
Well, the surface can be clean, but you're going to have a stain which is inside the stone, and that many times cannot be fixed. So I mean, we still recommend, after it's installed with PW10, we recommend to put a MP90 Eco Plus on the surface or other sealers on the surface to protect stains coming from the top to the bottom. But any stains that come from the bottom to the top, any heavy rust and so forth, generally it's a permanent thing. It cannot be really fixed unless they're very light or something like that. We could try, but not usually.
Seeing more dolomite slabs for residential kitchen applications. Should this stone be treated more like a marble, use MP90 to seal, and then a topical coating? If so, which one?
I'm going to refer that to somebody else because I'm not too sure. Okay. I'll be honest, I don't know everything.
No, that's fine. If you want, I can share my experience with the dolomite stone.
Yes.
We did some tests last year with a dolomite producer, and we saw that treating them with MP90 Eco Plus was the perfect treatment for them. We suggest, especially if the slabs are polished, to treat them with MP90 Eco Plus and treat them like marbles. Because sometimes those kind of minerals, this kind of natural stones has inside some calcium carbonate that is the same mineral that is present inside the marble. It is not as present as in the marble tiles, but there is a 30%, something like this. So it is important to treat them like marbles. So apply MP90 Eco Plus on them and then use refresh and reseal to maintain them as good as the first days.
And then it says use MP90 and then a topical coating.
Topical coating?
Coating, un coating.
Ma if you use MP90 Eco Plus, you will protect them against water, oil, coffee, and so on. You will just need to pay a little bit attention of the constant use of acid, so you can keep the surface just with MP90 Eco Plus. We don't usually suggest coating on the natural stones, because when you use coating, you will not let the natural stone breathe, and this could be a problem. So it's
You
better.
also change, you also change the look of the stone many a time.
Mhm.
So
Does the
Yeah, we
outside
don't-
surface, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I'm done.
Does the outside surface need to be completely dry before applying MP90 Eco Plus?
Yes. Although it is a water base, we prefer it to be totally dry, but it will handle a little bit of humidity, just a little bit, okay, between you and me. But when working with this, if you can have it dry, you're sure that you're going to have a better installation.
Okay. The most common question that I get asked regarding sealer is how many times a year do I reseal it in my home? Question one, and then as well as outdoor granite.
It really varies depending on the area that you have it installed. For example, if you have it on the wall of your home, it will go 5, even 10 years if it's maintained, for one coat on the wall. Nobody touches it, it's only for look. Now you have it on the floor and you're getting a little bit chancy here. For example, if it's in your home, we generally say 2 to 4 years before you need to reapply it. If it was applied properly initially, okay, 2 to 4 years. Now, if you're talking about a commercial application, or an area of your shower where there is a lot of water, a lot of movement, chemicals, you use shampoo, you everything, we recommend to do once a year, not twice, not twice a year or anything like that, like some others. I mean, these are heavy commercial areas, but generally most of the applications involve homes, patios, terraces, and so forth, and they really take much longer, usually 2 to 4 years before they require any type of recoating.
Can you use MP90 Eco Plus outside in climates with freezing temperatures? Would the sealer trap the moisture? Would frost damage occur?
Okay, MP90 Eco Plus is a breathable a sealer, which means that the moisture can escape. But if and freezing really, just as long as it's applied when it's not frozen, you have to apply within a certain range of temperature. If you apply within that temperature, it will do well throughout the year, whether it gets frozen or out in Arizona somewhere where it gets cooked. Okay, so it will do well in both of these instances. The application is the important thing. It cannot be applied in the middle of winter outside. It will be frozen. It will not work. It needs to penetrate many other things. I hope that answers.
What do you have to remove red wine?
Well, we can talk about another product, okay, which we call SR95, and it's not in this particular webinar, but look up SR95, and it's a product that you would use to remove red wine from even stone without damaging the stone, So It's certainly a good question for our next webinar, you know. But look up SR95 on our website, or later talk to us. We'll tell you a little more about that.
Can we use PS87 on luxury vinyl and wood floors to remove residue, polish, or layers of improper cleaner with a CRB machine, and then follow up with Cleanol to neutralize the floor?
No, you cannot use PS87 on vinyl. It will damage it. Vinyl is a plastic product, and generally, and PS87 will do. Now, you can maintain it with our Cleanol product. Okay, and of course you can use the Cleanol to start that process of removing whatever you have on it. It will help you remove it. But Cleanol is good for any type of vinyl, wood, ceramic, glass. And so yes, you can use that for cleaning, but not PS87. PS87 is too strong. It will attack the plastic in the floor.
How often do you need to reseal marble countertops? I think you've already answered that, right, Mario?
Yeah.
Do you recommend PS87 or Epoxy Pro to whiten epoxy that has absorbed contaminants, dirt, dust, etc.?
Well, this question doesn't really make sense, because if it's epoxy, it will not absorb anything. So to whiten the epoxy, don't know, can't tackle that one. Maybe we'll do a little research on that one.
An epoxy.
The point is that, as you told Mario, the epoxy should not get stained and should not absorb dirt. If this happens, it means that the epoxy was not done as it should. So in that case, you may have some epoxy residues on the top of the tiles that absorb the dirt, or you can have some organic residues that can change the look of the grout. So in that case, I would suggest proceeding with a test on a small area with Epoxy Pro in order to be 100% sure that what you see is due or not due to the presence of superficial residues, because the epoxy grout is an absorbent, so it should not get stained.
Yeah, it could be something on the surface, and
Yes,
it looks like it's part of the grout.
And I have another question for PS87. You mentioned using a scrub machine for a floor. If a homeowner doesn't have a scrub machine, is there another way, or will it not be as effective as when used with a machine?
There's many other ways. For example, I've done this. You can get a brush with bristles and a handle, and then scrub with that. Okay, all over the small area of the room, if you're just doing a room. Okay, to make sure that there's a mechanical action between the PS87 and the floor. Or even get down on your knees with a scrub pad if it's small enough, or whatever. So you don't need a machine, but in a larger area, you do need a machine, or you'll die, scrubbing by hand. So the important thing there is there has to be mechanical action between the cleaner and the floor. How you get to that? Many ways: machine, hand scrub, a broom,
I see that was our last question. I see that someone has sent us an article to read, so we will read it. And so we'll be able to give you feedback. I don't see the person who actually sent it, but we will contact our Canadians to see to give our input on this article that you've put here in the chat.
Okay, very nice. So guys, I really, really do thank you for the time that you spent with us. I hope that we were able to be helpful to you and answer some questions. We're always available. You know who we are. Jeff, me, Marco, Fila, Miami, and now Grace and Lisa. So if we can help in anything, okay, please do contact us. We'll be sending you the link of this recording in case you want to review something later or pass it on to one of your friends. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.